Listen.
No, you don't hold anybody to blame for something that somebody else did. But now the question is, what do we have now? The question is, do we have slavery now? And the answer is yes. What is slavery? See, that's what I mean by the definition of words. Someone raised the question some time ago, when did slavery end? And the answer is it didn't. As long as you have one person mistreating another, you have slavery. That's all slavery is, one person mistreating another. If I go out here and mistreat someone right now, during the period that that person is being mistreated, even if it's for 5 minutes, that person is my slave. Why? Because the person is being mistreated. Slavery is nothing but synonymous with mistreatment. There's no such thing as slavery ending until mistreatment ends.
For everybody.
So, white supremacy is a slave system. So the question now is also, do we have white supremacy? The answer to that question is, according to the evidence, yes. So therefore, slavery didn't end because white supremacy didn't end. So yes, that person is guilty, suspected of being guilty. That's the way you say it when you use words, because there's no way you can prove that the person is guilty. You got nobody to prove it by.
But they're suspected.
You say, you are. If you're white and you're able to practice racism, you should be suspected of being a racist if you're able to be one.
Okay.
Right now in 2017 on this planet. Why? Logically speaking, because the only system of government on the planet is the system of white supremacy. There's no other form of government. So any white person who is able to be a racist probably is one. You can't prove that the person is one, but you can't prove that the person is not one. All right? So that makes the person a what? Racist suspect.
Suspect, yeah.
Right.
What's
That's
your second
the term.
What's
Racist suspect.
Oh.
Never call a white person a racist. Why? Because you have no way of proving it.
Okay.
Don't ever do that. Just more of the same of what you're looking at now, and becoming more and more sophisticated, more backstabbing, more black people walking around like zombies, not knowing what to do, not knowing what to value, not knowing what's important, not knowing the difference between a male and a female. Just stone, obliteration of the mind. Complete. No value system of any kind. Just going around doing things like robots, like Frankensteins. On the course that we're on now, because of we don't have a vision, and people who don't have a vision, I'm saying, like I said in my book, because people have asked me this down through the years, what is it that we should want, Mr. Fuller? And I said, well, we should want to be what people ought to be, if we can ever find out what that is. And so that's an evolving process. So we'll put a label on it, said we should be evolving toward universal man and universal woman. Now, what would that look like? We really don't know. But it would be the very best that there is in a most constructive manner. And the only way you know the difference between something constructive and something non-constructive is by trial and error. So you always try to do the constructive thing in every area of activity. In economics, what's the most constructive way to use your time and energy? Because that's the compensatory definition for economics, the use of time and energy. So what's the most constructive thing to do each and every minute of each and every day in the use of your time and energy? And then in the field of education, what's the most constructive way to educate people?
Supremacy?
Yeah, do you even know what that is?
Do you even know how to spell?
Yeah, supremacy. S-U-P-R-E-N-C-S-Y. Supremacy. Do you know how to spell? Or are you just a bucula obtruculate? Because I'm not the one. I know a lot more than probably what you do. I'm probably older than you. I'm very sophisticated and I'm highly talented.
Spell it one more time for me.
The white supremacists, because it's not just the white people who are not white supremacists do not have any power. They have already proven that. If the white people who are not white supremacists had power, then the white people who are white supremacists wouldn't be white supremacists, because the white people who are not white supremacists would use their power to put them out of business. They haven't done that. So it makes the white people who are white supremacists the most powerful people on the planet.
Okay.
And that's why we still have it. We wouldn't be having this conversation if it was different. It's no walls, really. It's just people. I mean, people changing their minds. And so it's the job of black people, first of all, to recognize that the biggest problem on the planet is the system of white supremacy, and to persuade one way or another, I say through codification, the white people who practice white supremacy to stop being white supremacists. They haven't built any walls. It's them. They're the wall. It's just what they do every day. Stop mistreating people based on color. That's all it is. All white supremacy is just a white person talking to another white person and saying, look at that person over there. And the other white person takes a look and say, yes, I see that person over there. Say, does that person have color in his or her skin? Yes, that person has color in his or her skin. Well, now, we have an agreement that when we look at a person who has color in his or her skin, that person is eligible to be dominated and mistreated by the two of us. Is that agreed upon? And the other white person says, yes, agreed upon. Let's shake hands and let's proceed to go toward that person of color and proceed to dominate and mistreat that person of color. Why? Because we have decided to do so. Now, just like they decided to do so, they can undecide to do so. Decide to do something else, like replace this system that they have set up with justice. It's the job of every non-white person and every white person who doesn't believe in that system to work every day to replace that system with a better system. That better system would be called justice. Now, some people have said they've seen some cartoons of my work on the internet that have been presented, and that it pretty well embellishes what I have been trying to say in my textbooks. And to the extent that it does that, well, that has been, from what I understand, some people reported to me, a plus. Because they didn't understand what I had written very well, but when they saw those cartoons that just repeated what I was saying and attaching my name to it, and came right out of the book, the material did, they say that they better understood it. And I can understand that, because people are kind of visual, particularly in the year 2021 now, more visual than ever.